Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick and day number 31 of my 31 favorite singers, lead vocalists, frontmen, frontwomen who also regularly play an instrument. Right? We've been counting down all month. We're not really counting down, we're just laying them all out there. Our favorite musicians who do double duty, vocals and guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, whatever it might be. They're regularly doing both. And I mean regularly. I've seen some of you pick some people that don't really do the instrumental part regularly, right? It doesn't really count as someone is mainly the vocalist, but maybe once during a concert they may pull out an acoustic guitar or sit at a piano for a song. Yeah, that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who is regularly playing that instrument and singing it all at the same time. So today, for my last pick, I did tell you it was going to be a guitar player. I did tell you it was going to be this person was going to be from Ireland. That is indeed the case, because of course I saved perhaps my favorite for last, perhaps, right? None other than Mr. Gary Moore. Yeah, the late, the great Gary Moore. Miss him every day. One of my favorite guitar players of all time, and a damn good singer. That's why he's included this month, because again, he's the main vocalist in all his solo projects, all of his solo bands, and the main guitar player. And he's really great at both. More known for his guitar skills, kind of like Frank Marino yesterday and Rory Gallagher a couple days ago, right? These guys who are mainly known for being great guitar players. But what about those vocal skills? Damn good singers too, across a lot of albums. Right. That was the trick here. Like, all right, so what albums to pick, right? So let's take Gary off here and switch back over to regular view. There we go. And I apologize for the lighting. I look like I have a great tan. I have an okay tan, but not this. The lighting in down in my dining room kitchen area is not as great as I would have hoped. But kind of watching a bunch of dogs, so I got to be down here. You can probably hear them in the background. So anyway, three favorite albums featuring the singing and guitar playing skills of Mr. Gary Moore. Well, two of these were pretty easy. Picking my third was a little more difficult because, you have your absolute favorites, and I do have my absolute two favorites. One of them being Porter's Power, of course. That's the earliest one we're going to talk about today. Great singing, great playing. Remember, that's the key. His vocals are outstanding on here. To me, this is where finally his singing is really kind of starting to come together. And of course, this is his first really big American release. That's the first album I ever heard from him. Don't Take Me for a Loser, Always Gonna Love You, right? He's showing he can do those kind of melodic tracks. Got Wishing Well, Gonna Break My Heart Again, Falling in Love with You. He can do like a total like ballad type of thing. Of course, he's singing alongside Jack Bruce on End of the World. Then you got Rockin' Every Night, Cold Hearted, I Can't Wait Till Tomorrow, the Rockers, right? And the guitar playing, holy crap. Guitar playing is amazing on this record. This is what turned me on to Gary Moore. First time I heard Always Gonna Love You, and I heard that slaying solo on there on the radio back in what year was this? 1982, whatever. I was hooked. I was like, who is that? They better say what song that was, because I need to get that. That's a guitar player named Gary Moore, brand new album, Quarters of Power, Always Gonna Love You is the single. I'm like, whoa. And then I heard End of the World, and I was like, whoa, times 10. Yeah, amazing stuff. That's my first pick. Careful, guys. My next pick is the next album, Victims of the Future. Terrific. How about that title track? Right, this heavy album. Some heavy stuff on here, but mixed with some lighter fare, which is all really good. This is a pretty heavy album. Victims of the Future's on here. Killer. Teenage Idol. Shapes of Things. I remember they were playing Shapes of Things on the radio. I remember when they first started playing that. That kind of alerted me that a new Gary Moore album was coming out. I'm like, oh, it's a cover tune and it's molten. It's great. Empty Rooms is more of like kind of like the ballad on here. Should have been a big hit. Murder in the Skies, All I Want, Hold On to Love, Law of the Jungle, molten guitar tones, great vocals. Love it. So now pick number three. All right, so you have a few more albums released in the 80s, all of them I love. Then you start the blues era, right? Some really cool stuff there too. Good singing, good playing, right? Great bluesy stuff, showing more of his voice, right? less guitar pyrotechnics, although lots of great guitar playing, right? Bluesy guitar playing a little bit different. Ultimately, I decided to go with an album that's kind of like an outlier in his catalog because it's really the only album that he really did with lots of like kind of Celtic flavors and things like that. And I think it's one of his great vocal albums, and that's Wild Frontier, which came out later on in the 80s. Some great stuff on here. I mean, you got, Over the Hills and Far Away. That's, again, the guitar playing is great, but that's more great vocal melodies, harmonies. The chorus is amazing. And the title track, Wild Frontier, is absolutely terrific. Take a little time, very catchy. Then you got the Loner, right? Guitar playing on that is just sensational. Thunder Rising is great on here. You got Johnny Boy, he shows his tender side. A lot of really, really good stuff. Friday on My Mind, this is a really good album. This is one of those albums that, for whatever reason, when I talk about my ultimately three favorite Gary Moore albums from a guitar perspective, I never pick this one for whatever reason. But when I had to stop and think about both guitar and vocals, this is one of his best. It's one of his best. Might be his best vocal performance on any album. Might be. Really, really good stuff. Again, a little bit different for him. Kind of, I mean, it's rocking, but it's moving away from the heavier stuff of the previous couple albums. And then the next album, he goes right back to doing the hard rock and metal once again, and then the blues, and then he never really kind of looks back from that. So yeah, Wild Frontier, Victims of the Future, and Corridors of Power are my three favorite albums, featuring a combination and a successful combination of both guitar and vocal skills for me, right? That's what I'm going for here. So that's my pick for today, this last day of this month. Thanks everybody for watching. But we do have honorable mentions, right? Because that's how we roll with this stuff. Let me queue up my spreadsheet here. I totally forgot that I had to get that ready for this. And of course, it's going to default all the way to the top as Kai and Kira are wrestling on the ground. It's amazing how, when dogs are of a certain age and the puppy age, so anywhere from, a couple months old to, 3 or 4, they're in the same mentality. So here I have over on one side, I have my 12 and a half-year-old Kala, who's not interested in that kind of play. And the other two, the little tiny one is on top of the big one, and they're just rolling around, wrestling. The mouths are open. There's a toy there, but they're really not paying attention to the toy much. And they could do it for hours. They can do it for hours. Just it's amazing. They're of that same mindset, even though there's like 3 years between them. So anyway, all right, let's talk about honorable mentions, shall we? Yes, we shall. All right, and again, I love all these folks. You can't fit everybody into a list of 31, so there's no slight to any of them. But and there's many more that I probably won't even mention. But want to get to at least some of the ones that really mean something. Warren Haynes, of course, from Government Mule and the Allman Brothers Band, amazing, amazing singer and a kick-ass guitar player. I really felt bad about not including. I wanted to include him in the day I did Greg and Dickie, but the problem is he barely sang when he was with the Allman Brothers Band. So I was like, I didn't want to include him in there, but I did want to mention him here. He probably should have made my list somewhere. He would have been, if we had 32 days in this month, he would have been number 32. Greg Raleigh, of course, Hammond organ and vocals from Santana and Journey, amazing. Joe Bonamassa, solo artist, Black Country Communion, guitar virtuoso, really good singer too. Billy Joel, right? The man on the piano man. Lemmy. I originally had Lemmy on my list, but Lemmy's amazing. Lemmy's a god. Lemmy's a legend. Um, Ultimately, I took him off. I wanted to include my honorable mentions because I mean, great bass player, totally unique vocal style. Would anybody say Lemmy's a great singer? No, his voice is perfectly suitable to the music. I love Lemmy. We all love Lemmy. He didn't quite make my list. Uh, from the Doobie Brothers, Tom Johnston, Patrick Simmons, and Michael McDonald. Yeah. From ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill. From Kim Mitchell solo and Max Webster, Kim Mitchell himself, right? How about John Sykes? Hell yeah. Jeff Lynne from ELO and solo. Rick Emmett from Triumph and Gil Moore from Triumph. John Fogerty, Creedence Clearwater Revival and John Fogerty solo. Ted Nugent. And I almost didn't even put him on this list because I'm not the hugest fan of his vocals. I like Ted when he's only singing a song or two per album. With Derek St. Holmes is on this list as well. When Ted's doing all the vocals, it wears me down after a little bit. but I wanted to include him here. Tom Araya from Slayer. Richie Kotzen. There's a guy who amazing soulful voice, amazing guitar player. Michael Sweet from Striper, and lots of other projects. Joe Walsh, solo, the Eagles, James Gang. Chuck Schuldiner from Death. Got to get some extreme guys on here, right? David Gilmour and Roger Waters, and Richard Wright from Pink Floyd. Matt Pike, one of the kingpins of the stoner and sludge rock scene. Dave Brock, Auckland. Kip Winger, Rick Derringer, Johnny Winter, Leslie West from Mountain, Randy Bachman and Fred Turner from Bachman Turner Overdrive, Ricky Medlock, Blackfoot, Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Frank Zappa, and Billy Squire. There's a ton more. Peter Hamill, throw Peter Hamill in there too. I just realized I forgot Peter Hamill. There's a lot of others, folks, who regularly play an instrument and also sing, but those are some of my absolute favorites. There's a lot more, but we can be sitting here all day today. So anyway, those are my picks. That's the month. It's a wrap. So hear that? That's when the other two invade the Huskies kind of space. And she's like very like cranky. She's like, get away from me, you young whippersnappers. You bother me. Now she's moving away. She's like, I had enough of you people. So anyway, that's a wrap for the month. Wrap it up down in the comments below, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hope you got your list ready for title tracks. This is another difficult assignment. So I haven't finished my list. That's what I'm working on today. I'll have it ready for tomorrow morning for day number one. And but yeah, there's a lot of really great title tracks. And again, remember how I'm playing it is if there's a band or artist that has multiple title tracks that would make my list, they're all going to go on one show. So like, let's say if a certain band has 3 songs that I have on my overall list, on one episode, I'm going to list all 3 songs. And there's a couple of bands that have like 5, 6, 7 really good title tracks that I like. I'm not going to list every single one of them. I'll probably do a maximum of 3 or 4, and that's it. Because otherwise this kind of gets ridiculous. So yeah, so that's coming up at you tomorrow. Stay tuned for tonight. We'll have the latest episode of What Is It? We're going to do a Styx retrospective, going to talk all about the music and the albums and career of Styx. And they fit perfectly into this whole what is it concept because you can never really pigeonhole the music that Styx plays, right? Are they a hard rock band? Are they a rock band? Are they a pop band? Are they a prog band? Or is they, they do a little bit of everything, right? Boogie, right? Early in their career, they did some boogie stuff. So they do everything. And so we're going to talk about Styx because Styx has been in the news a lot of late. They're on tour. They got the new album. It's Styx year in 2025. So we're going to talk about them on this latest episode of Was It. So stay tuned for that and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all down there. Thanks, everybody. It's greatly appreciated. We'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. I got to go take care of these dogs. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.